Hello, everybody, my misfits and misanthropes. Welcome back. It is Friday, I love Friday. Fridays are awesome because I get to do fundamentalist fails. And today it's a bit of a weird one. I've got to only do 2 hours. I am due on Atheist Junior's stream after that. I hope you can join me for we're going to review a Kent Hovind debate. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mark, why do you keep doing this guy? Why not just leave him to sink beneath? He recently had the head of the Black Non-Believers Foundation, their charitable organization, Mandissa Thomas went over there to actually Dinosaur Adventureland and debated him, and it's too good to pass up. It's just it's just too funny to pass up, to be honest with you. He's absolutely terrible. Of course he's terrible. And I do apologize. I'm running late, and you might go, Mark, you're perfectly on time. No, I literally jumped out of the shower like 2 seconds ago and grabbed my coffee, and I'm getting set up. So bear with me, please. I usually am not this late. I mean, I'm on time, but I feel late. Maybe that is not something you care about, but I do. So I think it's important that I wake up, we get into this. It's demon time. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's demon time. The demons, they're everywhere. This is great. I love this. I found this last night, and it's a weird feeling when you find something that ridiculous that you don't know whether to be elated or saddened. And I laugh, but it's kind of tragic. Oh, Pragmatic, thank you so much. You are awesome. And yeah, I do have a gaming channel. Yeah, I'm going to plug that. I do have a gaming channel. I'm having lots of fun playing Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring at the moment. So that's fantastic. I'm having a fantastic time. So if you do want to join me, please do. The Discord server is also open, which I've got to be more active on, I got to admit, but I will be active on there when I can. And so I'm trying to sort of bring the community together and sort of, just have a more diverse and sort of just sort of a better community for everybody, because I really do feel like we can build a really good community here. But I do want to have some fun on Fridays because, it's Fridays, fundamentalist fails. And today we're looking at, well, I was going to look at a couple of people. I'll see how we do for time, but I was going to have a look at a couple of people. The first one was, oh God, what was his name? Give me 1 sec and I'll just grab him. He's sort of a preacher that Bob Larson. And if you've never heard of Bob Larson, you're in for a wild time. He is hilarious because he's this evangelical that cosplays, and this is in my wife's words actually, cosplays as a priest from The Exorcist. And I mean, I'm glad he likes The Exorcist kind of thing. Oh, thanks, Jedi. I appreciate it. And there's the Discord channel. If you do want to hang out or hit me up, there you go. Knock yourselves out or knock me out. I don't care. I'm too tired at the moment. I don't care. But this guy, he's absolutely hilarious, and I absolutely love it. It's Bob Larson, the real exorcist, because he's a real. Don't be fooled by all of those fake exorcists. He's a real exorcist, and I've got one of the things that he's done recently. Now, the other person is somebody I see as sort of, when you're looking at these demon hunters and witch hunters and the paladins out there who are going around exorcising demons, you've really got two major types. You've got the obvious obvious frauds like Bob Larson, who's just in it for the bucks, and you do have people who believe in demons, but they don't particularly. They don't particularly. I don't think they're trying to con anybody. I think they're just mistaken. I think they're just really mistaken. But I will share this. Now, the name of this video, and please excuse the portrait, trying to think of the word, portrait view. For some reason he films in portrait. I don't know why. Like, just turn it sideways, do landscape. It'll be better for you, better for everybody. I mean, I don't understand boomers and their inability to film in landscape. It's absolutely baffling. Yeah, Hooligan, how you doing? Robin, good to see you. Really good to see you. But this is Bob Larson. Now, the name of this video, and grab your seatbelt, strap yourself in. The name of this video is Demons Try to Kill Trump. Yes. Apparently it wasn't, somebody in it was actually a demon. So we all know now. Demons tried to kill Trump. Now, the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the words demons tried to kill Trump is why demons needed a gun. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. That's the first. It just leaps out at me, Are you okay, America? I was thinking about having. I did a open panel that was like, so you're thinking of convicting a criminal. Are you okay, US? Are you okay, America? I really think I should have another one. Is you tried to kill the criminal, you decide to. Are you really okay, America? Like, seriously? Anyway, let's get this going, because I do, as I said, I've got a hard cap of 2 hours on this thing. So I'll try to get through as much of it as possible. But this is absolutely hilarious. You're going to love this.
Trump. You're aware of the fact, most likely, that all over the social media, all over YouTube, everybody's got an opinion. There's an armchair pundit with something to say about every conceivable aspect of this.
He says as he sits in his armchair with his portrait, view. No, I didn't get it from Ember. No. Did Ember do something on this? I didn't actually see. I didn't see anything from Ember on this. Am I doubling up? Because this is just hilarious. Like, this is objectively, but it is actually hilarious. Ember, where is she? Where is she? I don't see anything. It looks like she's doing Sal, which Sal's always fun to cover. No, I don't see it. If she did, I am unaware of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I just found this. That's a good idea, Marty. That's a good idea. That is a really good idea. Look, I'll say it right now. The best Satanic Panic film, okay, is Dark Dungeons. And I will hear no disagreement on this. Okay, there's a film called Dark Dungeons. If you have not seen Dark Dungeons, seriously, see Dark Dungeons. It is freaking hilarious. So, and it has the most amazing story behind it. So Dark Dungeons was based upon a chick track of the same name called Dark Dungeons. Now, that chick track, they basically approached the chick organization, or Jack Chick himself, who does these chick tracks, and asked him whether they could make it into a film. Now, they convinced him that they would do a real film about it, but it really it is so well done, it comes across as a parody, but the kind of parody that fundamentalist Christians will not see, right? So they thought it was a real film and approved it. Whereas if you watch it, it is so bad and corny that there's no other way to take it. Now, at the same time, that company also filmed a mockumentary about the making of Dark Dungeons. It is so good. It is absolute genius. So what they did is they tricked the chick organization into letting them make a film about a chick track. And if you're unfamiliar with chick tracks, they're those little books with the cartoons in them. So they tricked them into letting them make a film, which they thought was serious. But when you watch it, you're like, no, it is hilarious. I should do a watch at some point, like just a watch kind of thing. Yeah, like it is so good. It is so good. And there's also a documentary, and the documentary is called I can't remember. Um oh, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, they did make a documentary film, and it's hilarious. Anyway, let's get back to Bob Larson, because speaking of role playing, because this guy he wears like a collar and has a cross, and he looks like a Catholic priest, but he's not a Catholic. This is the thing. It's just hilarious. This guy's funny.
Yes. And some of it's good, some of it's crazy, some of it's irrelevant. But what I want to focus on is a simple point. Demons tried to kill Donald Trump. Demons. Now, how do I know it was demons?
That's my first question. That's really, really, really my first question. I how did you know it was demons and not just, I don't know, some lone gunman? I guess. I guess. I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? I I mean, what in any of this? What in any of this points to demons? Like, seriously, I don't understand.
Why am I not just another armchair expert?
Are you in an armchair? You're in an armchair, aren't you? You're in an armchair. He's not even in, like, so certain people, I will go, yeah, okay, you're just talking. Oh, hi, Missing Mod. You're talking sort of above your pay grade, or you're misinformed or whatever. Bob Larson is absolutely a con artist. The fact that he wears Catholic priest gear and he's not a Catholic priest, and he like has his channel as the real demon hunter kind of thing. I it's just obviously he's got absolutely no shame in being a con artist, basically. But like the fact that he's like, oh, I'm just another armchair. Like, how do you know that I'm not just another armchair commentator? No, I think you're an absolute fraud, Bob Larson. I really do. No, he's not angry. He's evangelical, but he wears the collar and the. Hang on, let me find you, do a picture of him. Hang on a sec. Um, so where's So he takes like lots of pictures like this, right? So this sort of getup is a Catholic priest getup, right? So this is Dr. Bob Larson, by the by. You know, I think he's as much of a doctor as Kent Hovind is a doctor, to be honest with you. But he's an evangelical, and all of this sort of getup, the collar, the sort of, you know, cross, the stuff that's all Catholic accoutrement. That is all, you know, sort of Catholic based. But he likes to cosplay as a priest from The Exorcist is basically what he's doing. Does he have any he doesn't have any sort of doctorate at all. Like, you know, he's got zero doctorate. He just likes to, you know, say that he's this amazing priest kind of thing. And he's the real exorcist, as it says on his channel, the real one. The others are fake. Don't go for those fake ones. Go for the real one, which is hilarious.
Well, first of all, we now know from someone in his campaign why that bullet missed him. As it turns out, apparently Trump made an impromptu decision to bring up on the Jumbotron that they had there, as one of these massive screens, some facts about illegal immigration.
The bullet missed not because of the aim or because of the distance or because, you know, the guy was probably under a lot of pressure, having people seen him and yelling, you know, that there was a shooter. No, it was because Trump drew some attention to illegal immigration. Seriously? What was Trump actually doing when he was shot at? Like, no. It's so weird.
It's not clear, but apparently this was not planned or was not planned at that moment. But he called for it. And he looked over his right shoulder. And it was at that instant, as he was looking at the Jumbotron, that the bullet whizzed past and came within, his doctor says, a half an inch of killing him. Well, it looked to me like it was millimeters. It was close. So if he had not called for those stats, if he had not turned his head, this would be a very different conversation.
Yeah, and sort of the unthinkable would have happened, and it would be very, very serious. Absolutely.
They found the father of this young man.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they identified the guy, the shooter, I presume. Yeah. And they found his father. Not that hard to do. I am thinking that the Secret Service probably are capable of doing that. Okay. So what is demonic about that? Okay. They found the father. Did he have a tail and horns? Is that what you're saying?
Tried to assassinate Trump, Thomas Matthew Crooks. And they asked him for a statement. And he said, I'd like to know what the H happened. I'm not talking to anybody till I talk to the authorities. Now, his son had just murdered one person. There's several others critically injured and tried to kill the presidential candidate, Donald Trump. And he doesn't know what happened?
Why would it? If you're a parent, like, and you get told that your son just attempted to assassinate a presidential candidate, I would probably be saying, I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah. Why would he know what happened? Do you think his son was telling him what happened? What? I think what the hell is probably an accurate response.
This is his son, his 20-year-old son. I want you to take a look at this, kid. This is him. Does he?
Okay. I notice a lack of horns and red skin there. I can't see his teeth, but he doesn't have red eyes. He doesn't have horns. I don't know. Look, I've got to be honest with you. I've largely been avoiding the news about the Trump shooting. It's really crazy what the people have been saying. People have been saying it's a false flag. People have been saying it's inside job. People have been saying it's Biden. People have been saying I've avoided the whole thing. I got to be honest with you. Did they cooperate? So yeah, I mean, they told him he'd vanished. I'm that worried. Apparently, he had sort of major depressive, like this. All of this, I don't know. Yeah, no, they did.
Does he look like a murderer? We don't know exact age there, but he's much younger than the 20 now. No. Looks like.
What does a murderer look like exactly? When you say he doesn't look like a murderer, I don't think Dharma looks like a murderer. I mean, sort of maybe meeting him and seeing some of his reactions, but the whole point about murderers is they don't look like murderers. A lot of the people that do go for jail for murders are just people kind of thing, and that have some sort of mental illness or some sort of oh, hi Jess, good to see you, really good to see you, some sort of issue, or sort of have some sort of crime of passion. I don't think you can just look at the thing that always strikes me when people say, oh well, he doesn't look like a murderer, is the amount of time that they interview somebody about the horrendous monster that lived next door to them or something, and they say, hey, they were quiet, kept to themselves, quiet loner, nothing average kind of thing. Like they don't say, oh well, I knew they looked like a. No, I don't know what a murderer is supposed to look like. I don't know. I mean, you can certainly say, hey, like Manson and stuff, the wild man kind of stuff, but a lot of the time they don't look like that.
Looks like just another kid. So what happened?
What's he supposed to look like? I mean, that's a kid. That's a something from his high school days, like years ago. He's 20 now.
Well, this was either a case of mental illness or demons. I think the latter, or perhaps a mixture of both.
Why not just mental illness? Could it just be mental illness? I don't know why. What leads us to believe it's demonic? What is this? Like, he looks normal, therefore he's a demon. Well, then we're all demons, Bob. We're all demons. Holy crap.
Why do I think that? First of all, because Trump could be dead now, except for what I believe and Trump said was divine intervention to save his life.
Yeah, I got issues with that. I don't see any divine intervention kind of thing. And what kind of divine intervention saves one person and then kills another? Don't forget, a guy's dead out of this. It's not that divine. Like, if it was divine intervention, like the bullet would miraculously disappear or something. Like, that isn't what happened. Yeah, Trump didn't get hit, but somebody else did, and they're dead. It's for a miracle, it's pretty unimpressive.
The discussion as to why and where that goes from here, that's for another time. But this father should have known. In fact, we just learned a little while ago that they discovered explosives in the van that this kid was driving, and explosives in the house, apparently. This father doesn't know that his son is driving a van with explosives. He doesn't know that there are explosives in the house. And the gun was the gun of the father. He doesn't know where his AR-15 is.
Yeah, which I think is pretty irresponsible of him. Like, it was his gun. But there's a lot of families in America who like they will give their sons and daughters weapons, kind of thing. Like, I don't think it was an AR. I think it was just sort of an AR style kind of thing. It was just a style of rifle. I don't, I don't know. I think that. Okay, well, here's the thing. I mean, when I was younger, my parents didn't know what I was up to either. Like, I mean, I would have some weed and I would do certain, run around, and they didn't know what I was up to either. Your teenagers, much less a 20-year-old, will rarely tell their parents what they're actually up to. And if you have like guns and explosives in your car, there's no way that kid is going to tell his father, "Oh, by the way, Dad, just to let you know, I've got a whole bunch of explosives in the car, just an ungodly amount of dynamite or C4 in the car. So just letting you know, just in case you bump me with your car, I it might explode. Just be aware of that." Of course, he's not going to tell his father. What are you talking about? Ugh, so stupid.
And he doesn't know that his son is troubled sufficiently that whatever his political motives were, he would have done.
No, he did know his son was troubled, and that's why he reported it to the police. Robin brought that up, and he's right. He reported that his son had gone missing, and he was worried because he disappeared, kind of thing. Yeah, Matthew Crook's father called the police. So, yes, he did know his son was troubled, but just because you know your son is troubled doesn't mean that you know that they're going to. Look, he probably would never have thought his son would go and do something so terrible. Like, most parents don't think their children are capable of, killing another person. It's just something you wouldn't, yeah. I don't think any parent would go, "Oh no, my kid's troubled. I'm going to assume that they're an assassin." That's what I'm going to assume. I don't think so.
He would have done something like that? Of course not. Dereliction of duty on behalf of parenthood, or worse.
Dereliction of duty on behalf of. I don't know about that. I mean, the dude was 20, my man. Like, he's not like a 15-year-old or something. The dude's 20. Like, there's a certain point where the parents can't be held responsible for what their children do. At 20, you're kind of responsible for yourself at that point.
We're going to find out some crazy things about that family and that home. And nobody has spoken about the mother. What does she have to say? Does he have?
Yeah, let's go harass somebody that's probably grieving the death of their son in very difficult circumstances. Don't forget, he's dead as well. Those parents have to cope with that. I don't, like, maybe she doesn't want to, like, hold press conferences while mourning her son. I don't, like, do you think there's any other reason that she doesn't want to talk to anybody? Can you think? Maybe. Think about it. No, she's demonic. That's all there is to it. This is crazy. Hey, Dave. Good to see you, mate.
Does he have a mother? Is she part of this process? What kind of a family is this? I can tell you a couple of other facts. First of all, this was not a loving two-parent family home.
How the hell does he know? How does he know? I don't know how he knows this for a fact. I mean, the investigators haven't really started investigating, but this is This is just a con artist making accusations against a family that may have had nothing to do with it. It may have been other issues that caused the young man's mental health issues. It may have been bullying. It may have been all kinds of other things. It may have been psychopathy. I don't know, because I don't know the guy and I don't know their family. So I would never say what their family is like. I wouldn't say that. I don't know why this man thinks he can.
Church-going, God-loving family. It wasn't. This kid was messed up. Who else does something like this? Was he mentally ill? Perhaps. But even a mentally ill person doesn't try to assassinate a presidential candidate.
Mentally ill people can do all kinds of things. I don't think that's the worst thing we've learned that mentally ill people have done. I mean, Dharma is definitely mentally ill, and he's done way worse. Like, what are you talking about? I don't. Wow.
Okay? Of course, they're looking for a motive now. Well, they're looking for something that logically would have festered in his mind. But if he had demons, it could have taken anything that pushed him over the edge. And this was not an impulsive act. People who have demons don't necessarily act impulsively. The demons plan. They're very careful, very intentional. So this thing has been brewing in his mind for some period of time we don't know. And the demons made it happen. The demons pushed him over the edge. Now,
yeah, what a crock of shit. Look, there's no demons involved here. Like, he's basing this on nothing except for his cosplay as a demon hunter. Like, how can he tell there's demons? He did something that I assume is demonic, is only motivated by demons. There's no other reason why somebody would try to assassinate a presidential candidate. Does that mean that John Wilkes Booth was possessed by demons? Did Lincoln should have been a demon hunter and not a vampire hunter? Because wow, yeah, that's absolutely true, Left-Handed Jedi. Yeah, and you're right. He shot Reagan to impress Jodie Foster. Yeah. I mean, somebody shot John Lennon, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's just awful. I can't remember the motivation for that. Didn't he just want to be famous, kind of thing? Like, yeah, Mark Chapman shot John Lennon, and I think he just wanted to be famous. Like, that's it. Yeah.
over the edge. Now, the demons can't make you do anything, but they can push you to the point where you're so controlled by them, so driven by them, so infected by them, so overtaken by them, you essentially will act out their agenda, even though they don't push a button that says, do this now. When Jesus sent out his disciples, we read about this in the first Gospel of Mark.
Yeah, so absolutely no evidence that there was anything supernatural involved at all, in any way. I mean, of all the people that you would go, well, what's their motivation? Trying to assassinate Trump. I mean, Trump himself talked about the amount of haters that he had, these never Trumpers kind of thing. It doesn't take a great leap of logic that somebody with mental health issues would act upon that hatred. Like, I don't see where a demon's involved at all. He thought he was John Lennon? Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, who was he? He was Mark David Chapman? Yeah, that's him. Apparently, the Catcher in the Rye took great personal significance. He wished to model his life after Holden Caulfield. Chapman also contemplated killing other figures like David Bowie, Johnny Carson, etc., etc. Oh, you're right. You could be right. He did not want to give the impression that he killed Lennon for fame and notoriety. Yeah, really disturbed individual, though. Chapman turned against Lennon due to a religious conversion and Lennon's highly publicized 1966 remark about the Beatles being more popular than Jesus. Some members of Chapman's prayer group made a joking reference of Lennon's song that went, imagine if John Lennon was dead. So that's all it took. Apparently Chapman's childhood friend said that the song was communist. So, you've got I think it's a very disturbed individual.
Mark chapter 6. He sent them out 2 by 2, and he gave them very specific instructions. Go read it later. Pretty fascinating passage of scripture. What is the first instruction Jesus gave to his disciples? Do we even know what it is? Does the average pastor know what it is? Does the average pastor care what it is?
Is that the one about hate my mother and my father, and the disciples have to hate everybody, basically?
The very first thing Jesus, go read the passage, the very first thing Jesus told his disciples to do in Mark chapter 6 was cast out unclean spirits. He said, I give you authority over unclean spirits to cast them out. That was the first and most important thing Jesus did when he sent out his disciples as evangelists of the gospel, was to cast out demons. Why is that? In our world today, and most churches today, completely off the radar. It has nothing to do with the agenda of most churches.
I'm not sure that's true. What passage was that?
The very first thing we read about this in the first gospel, Mark chapter 6.
Mark chapter 6, hey? Then Jesus went around teaching from village to village, calling the 12 to him, began to send them out 2 by 2 and gave them authority over impure spirits. These were her instructions. Take nothing for the journey except the staff. No bread, no bag, no money in your belts. Wear sandals, but not an extra shirt. When you enter a house, stay there until you leave this town. And if a place will not welcome you or listen to you, leave that place. Shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them. They went out and preached that people should repent. Yeah, so I think he missed the part about not having wealth or like any extra things, because like the guy makes a bundle from his fraudulent sort of demon hunting here. So it's actually hilarious that that's the passage where he tells them not to take any money and, no bread, no bag, no money in your belt kind of thing. It's actually... Yeah.
6. He sent them out 2 by 2, and he gave them very specific instructions.
Yeah.
Very first thing Jesus told his disciples to do, important thing Jesus did when he sent out his disciples as evangelists of the gospel, was to cast out demons. Why is that? In our world today, and most churches today, completely off the radar.
Well, Jesus never told them that. Like, he didn't actually tell them to go drive out spirits. He basically called the 12 to him and he sent them out and gave them authority over impure spirits. He didn't say that. He said, take nothing for the journey except a staff. That's all he said. He didn't say go drive out spirits. That isn't in the text. No.
It has nothing to do with the agenda of most churches. It's not there. It isn't mentioned. It isn't talked about. Spiritual warfare is brought up at best in some deliverance, light, benign sort of context. But if this young man could have found help in a Bible-preaching church who believed in deliverance, this could have had a completely different outcome. Because
yeah, and if he got if the mental health system was better and he got the help that he needed, it would have had a completely different outcome as well. That's the thing. Just because a community can be good for people suffering from mental health doesn't mean that there's some kind of spiritual warfare going on. You haven't shown that at all. This whole thing about, oh, I believe that he was infected by demons is based nothing upon your say-so. So it's kind of a circular argument. He's kind of like saying, hey, or it's really that that sort of he's really saying, hey, we know that he was infected by demons because what he did, and what he did was because he was infected by demons. So it's kind of just this circular argument that he's in, just going around. He's just, but don't forget that this guy makes a bundle of convincing people that demons are real, and he can get rid of them for you. His seminars, his books, his appearances, they're all geared towards him claiming to be able to drive out demons. And it's a crock of crap.
Because let's remember, even though Trump was not killed, another man was. And this man who was killed.
Yeah, great miracle you got there, buddy. Great miracle. Yeah.
According to the governor of the state, was a church-going man who was in church every Sunday, and he was
really a church-going man in Trump's audience. I'm astounded. How is that possible? How is that possible? There was a church-going man in Trump's audience. Incredible. Unbelievable. Of course there was a church-going man in Trump's audience. They're all church-going men.
And he was a firefighter. He was a good man.
Yeah.
He was involved in service to his community.
It was a tragedy, yeah.
We don't know about the others who are fighting for their lives right now. Demons tried to kill Trump. And we're not going to talk in an ideological or political sense about why that was so important to the kingdom of darkness. That's for another discussion. But know this. There didn't have to be a political agenda in this young man's mind. If there were other factors,
or he just had a political agenda, that's it.
Alienation, abuse, rejection, abandonment, certain things that happened in his childhood that maybe predisposed him to mental instability that demons took advantage of. That's all we need to know. Why do I say so certainly that it was demons? Because even if he was mentally ill, even if he was unstable, and obviously he was, that doesn't mean he's going to kill somebody. That doesn't mean he's going to try a political assassination of the two most important people in America, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. That doesn't mean he's going to do something that has the power to affect the future of the United States of America and over 300 million people. Demons do that. That, I can tell you as an exorcist, is a demonic agenda.
Yeah, so trust him as an exorcist. I mean, seriously, it's kind of like, well, so if you're keeping score, the argument that he's using here in debate terms is the argument from incredulity. He's basically saying, I am incredulous that mental health issues would cause someone to act in this way, therefore demons. The amount of behavior that we see among mentally disturbed people could easily encapsulate this kind of thing. Easily. I don't know, like, okay, so part of me wants to go, what year is this? You know, we're still sitting here and there's idiots out there like this guy basically going, no, this isn't mental illness, this is demons. Could we stop this, please? Could we stop blaming medical conditions on fucking demons. Like, seriously.
It'll be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. Be careful who you listen to. A lot of crazy stuff out there, conspiracy theories, and even some Christians who don't really know what they're talking about. Make sure you got some good sources of information. Be very much.
Make sure you, yeah, like you.
In prayer for Donald Trump, his family, for the families of those who have loved ones who are, we don't know the state, but they're between life and death right now. It's a very serious crisis situation. And pray for this country that we'll be able to sort through all of this, not just to point fingers, but to stop calling people deplorable, stop calling them Hitler.
So deplorable is sort of a callback to Hillary's campaign against Trump, where she called his supporters a bunch of deplorables, which, you know, was probably a bad move on her part. But, you know, it's not like, it's a really like large callback. Stop calling. I mean, a lot of people do call Trump the next Hitler. I think that is. I mean, there's a lot of rhetoric there, but I don't think it's unjustified. I think that sort of Trump has shown a real totalitarian, authoritarian bent. Like, I don't think that's unjustified. I think that sort of he really does justify that label. But, you know, I think that in a way, that label has been sort of watered down. I think that people are too quick to say, "Oh, they're fascist," or "they're a Hitler," or whatever. I'm not sure if Trump is a fascist or not. I think he has fascistic tendencies. I don't know that he believes in the ideology of fascism. I don't think that he does, but I think he's incredibly authoritarian. Like, he just wants to have complete power over the government. Whether that makes him fascist or not, it's debatable. But if you're talking about a power-hungry dictator with delusions of grandeur, I think if you're sort of saying that being Hitler, I think that's an adequate label for Trump. You know, I think that is a very adequate label for him. A totalitarian dictator with delusions of grandeur is basically what I would describe Trump as. So, you know,
Hitler, stop saying that the entire country is a position of being about to go into a totalitarian state. Extreme language. There's a big difference between sleepy.
Okay, so if you haven't been paying attention, the Supreme Court just made it so that you can't basically prosecute a president for anything he does as part of his official duties, and he has presumptive innocence, or, you know, you can't really investigate anything tangentially associated with his presidential duties. So that does include power over the military and things like it. It is crazy how much power the president has been handed recently. And, you know, I think that it is dangerous to give anyone. There's a reason why the founding fathers of America had separation of powers, and that the president did not have unilateral powers to, you know, do whatever he wants. I worry, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. It's sort of, I don't see why, considering what Trump did, you know, trying to steal the election and sort of things, why you would not say that. It's not rhetoric. It's not rhetoric. He tried to create and nullify votes in order to win an election, much like Putin did in Russia, essentially, like the way that Putin did it in Russia. So I don't know why they're not being hyperbolic here.
Sleepy Joe and America and democracy will be lost if this man is elected. I'm not picking political sides here as such. I'm just saying that's the extreme language that has been used to take a young man like this, relationally.
Well, that's not like, you might say, okay, so here's the thing. You might say, oh, well, that's a slippery slope argument. Just because Trump did this and this and this doesn't mean that democracy will collapse. We're not basing that on something in the future. We're basing it on the fact that he undermined the election results by calling up Georgia and asking them to produce votes for his side, asking Pence to nullify votes illegally, and the crazy thing is that sort of that action to nullify the election and steal the election was only prevented by Mike Pence saying, no, I don't have that power. That is the only reason. That is the only reason that Trump didn't get away with it, is because Pence actually grew a backbone for 2 seconds and said, no, I don't have that power. So this isn't based upon some hypothetical of what Trump may do. It's based upon his previous actions, which I think are justified, because he has tried to alter the vote. That is indisputable.
Emotionally and from a family standpoint, disoriented, full of demons from something we don't know yet, he can be pushed over the edge by the devil very easily. And you, parents, get your homes in order. Know what your kids are doing.
They're 20, dude. They're 20. They're adults. Like, you're talking about this, guys, if it's a 13-year-old. It's a 20-year-old. The parents, like, you've got to let your children grow up at some point. What were they supposed to do? Just lock him up? What? Where does this guy come from that he thinks that a 20-year-old needs to be, like, controlled by their parents all the time? It's crazy. His parents did the best that they could, and obviously he's got some mental health. That doesn't automatically mean it's their fault. Like, this guy is just so willing to blame the parents. Like, it's all the parents' fault.
Really? What kind of parent, a 20-year-old kid who lives at home, has explosives in the house?
A, they were in the truck. They were in his car. B, I don't know how they were supposed to know. How are they supposed to know? I dread to think that this guy, like, does spot searches and stuff of his children's. He probably does, He probably does not trust his children, in the slightest. Or this is just rhetoric for YouTube, one of the two.
This is really insane.
No, you're really insane. That's the problem. You think that I think I like what Noam Chomsky once said, and that is, we all have the capacity to be saints and gas chamber attendants. It's important to understand about the human mind and human mental state that we're all capable of great things and we're all capable of horrible things. We are. All that happens is the circumstances change. I remember talking about this with my mother, who was a psychologist, and she was like, yeah, I don't think that's true. And I'm like, well, would you ever kill somebody? And she's like, no, never. And I'm like, what if your children are being attacked and by a murderer? And the answer is, well, yeah, touche. And you see that a lot in things like parents, like mothers. Like, you do not want to cross a mother that thinks her children are in danger. You are in for a time. Like, seriously. You see it all the time in nature. You see it all the time in humans. That instinct to be able to do that kind of thing, if you have a mental problem, if you have some kind of mental illness, that propensity for violence can easily turn to another target, that may or may not be justified. Because when we're talking mental illness, and I got to make this clear, I'm not a psychologist. I think I've read a lot about psychology. My mother was a psychologist, but I am not. I want to make that clear. And this is just my opinion. But when mental illness is distorted, it's a distortion of reality. Like, you cannot see reality for what it is. And so when that reality is distorted, people may take actions that are completely insensible to everybody around them. And we understand that. There's nothing demonic about it. So a mother that might fight absolutely ferociously to defend her children, it may be a distortion that she thinks her children is under attack. And so it looks like it comes from nowhere, but it doesn't. It comes from a distorted thought. And Chuckles over here, he is not helping by saying, oh, there's demons and things. That does not help. We have got to understand the mind and the mental processes that lead people to this, and make solid, medically sound ways of treating the individuals affected by these distorted thoughts. Not blame it on demons.
There'll be more to come in the meantime.
Oh, I hope not. No, I hope not. Okay. Well, that was Bob Larson talking about it. I might do some more Bob Larson. I'm not sure if I'll get to the second woman, but I do really want to go through at least a part of this second video. Had he been diagnosed? I don't know, Robin. I honestly don't know. His parents did say that he had mental health issues, so I kind of assume he was possibly diagnosed, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think so. I think that the gun that he had was his parents'. I think there's definitely a conversation to be had around that. But I don't know whether he had been diagnosed or not. I think that yeah, I don't know. I don't cast blame for this for really anybody, right? Any person kind of thing. I don't cast blame to the parents. I don't cast blame entirely to him. I mean, he's responsible for his actions. Obviously, he was very disturbed. I don't cast, I don't try to blame him entirely because he was obviously disturbed. I don't blame all the people saying rhetoric about Trump. I don't blame them for it, kind of thing. I don't blame necessarily anybody. I think that it is a product of societal systems that has caused this. It's a failure of the mental health care system. It's a failure of the gun registration and control system. I guess it's also a failure of the incredible heightened anxiety, and partially it has to do with Trump being Trump. Now, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that he is doing stuff that is going to generate a response, and I'm not saying that response is justified, not at all. But with all of these things in place, he's going to piss people off. He just is. Yeah, so this video, and this is hilarious. This is great. I'm sorry, all my Swifties out there. Is Taylor Swift a witch? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, keeping with the demons theme, nothing more demonic than a strong, independent woman making music and, entertaining people.
Is Taylor Swift a witch? And this topic has been bandied about since she rose to pop superstardom.
This is like the first I've heard it. Like, actually, no, that's a lie. I did hear of this before briefly when somebody told me that they accused Taylor Swift of being a witch because people at her concerts were dancing in circles. I joke you not. That was clear-cut evidence because people, you know, young women and girls were in circles and you know, probably guys as well, you know, in circles dancing to her music. That was evidence she was a witch. So I've only heard of this once before, but it's absolutely baffling to me.
And it's not just the Christian influencers who have asked the question. So is it true? If not, then the speculation must stop. But if it is true, what's the Christian response? So Christians go to her concerts and listen to her music. I have some very specific answers to these questions and other questions. And we're going to be taking a lot of chats tonight. And
Okay.
The chat line is fairly well lit up out there.
Yeah, I think this guy is so, either he is delusionally crazy, and I love this screenshot. I love this. I'm going to take a screen cap of this because this is too good. Come here, Bob. Thank you, sir. This is either you are delusional or you're a shill. I feel like he is a shill, right? I feel like he is doing this because he makes a ton of money off of it. That's what I think, to be honest with you. I think that's I think that's the case. I think he just makes money off of it.
I want to give answers that clearly define what denotes an individual practicing witchcraft. How do you know if anybody is a witch? So stay with me. You might want to grab a pad and a pen because you want to take some notes tonight because it's going to be a really
yeah, no, I'll take notes on your interpretation of Taylor Swift's religion, sure. Probing time. No, I got you. Like that, yeah. The thing is, mate, if you've ever seen, there was an Australian that did a really good thing on it, and that is, yeah, there'll always be a black market, right, for guns. That's an argument, okay. But here's the thing: it's not a good argument because just because you can't stop something doesn't mean you shouldn't restrict it, kind of thing. It's like saying, well, we shouldn't find people from speeding because people are always going to speed. We're never going to be able to stamp it out. Or we shouldn't make opiates illegal because we'll never, there'll always be a black market for opiates. And, I realize that may not be what you're saying. Gotcha. Understand. But the other thing is, I think it was like somebody looked at the black market for like a fairly simple rifle, and it cost like $30,000 on the black market. Like this is something that people will not be able to afford. So for a start, it is generally criminals that will be able to, like the bikies, for instance, and the Australians will know what I'm talking about when I say the bikie gangs will be the ones doing the black market. It's not generally people with mental illnesses and sort of loners, disturbed loners that are going to go to the black market to get these weapons. It generally will be criminals. And the thing about criminals is they usually, not always, but they usually will use those firearms on other criminals.
Interesting topic, not just about Taylor Swift, but about witchcraft and what constitutes witchcraft. And by the way, if you have not yet signed up for Ex Dunamis, you really need to do it. We're getting ready to start a new month. Every month we upload a bunch of new videos.
Yeah, shill.
In fact, we uploaded a lot of them in advance, hundreds and hundreds of them. It's $20 a month. That gift brings to you more information available anywhere outside of Bob Larson University, directly to you in hundreds of videos.
Oh my God, he runs a university? This man does it all. Bob Larson University, is it accredited? Does anyone want to take a guess? Does anyone want to take a guess? Like, this guy is such a sellout shill. It is insane. It is insane. Bob Larson University. Oh, he's got an Institute of Supernatural Studies. Does anyone want to sign up for the Institute of Supernatural Studies? International School of Exorcism. Wow, I can't believe how much of an absolute scumbag this guy is. Like, quite frankly. Is the School of Exorcism accredited? Here's what you're all waiting for. I bet you're on the edge of your seats, right? You want to know whether your accreditation. It's accredited by the Spiritual Freedom Churches Incorporated International. No, that's not what we mean by accredited. That's in its FAQs. Yeah, I bet you're not going to say it's not accredited. There's no way. Yeah, we're accredited by another dodgy organization. That's absolute. That's hilarious. Like you know, my Pixie school is accredited by International Pixie Schools Incorporated, so it is accredited. You know, like come on. What an absolute money grubbing shill. What a joke.
Can't watch on YouTube. You don't have access to anywhere else, exclusive to Extremism. And that $20 a month helps to support this ministry and gives it a basic financial.
Okay, so my memberships are less than $20 a month, and I just do them on YouTube because, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's important to me, like that you know, I become big or make money or whatever. I think I just like pulling apart things and seeing if they have merit. I really just do like deconstructing things. You know, seeing how the logic flows. I think that's what I like. I don't know. You know, you always look at yourself and go, well, am I in this for the money? Is that what I'm doing here? I don't think I am. You hear so many people like YouTubers that go, oh, I'm not in it for the money, and then they completely and utterly sell out. It's really rather crazy. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? This guy's absolutely look at him. Let him getting all up. Give me my $20 a month. Fuck you.
Undergirding to carry forth the work of this ministry, and it gives you the opportunity to bring hope to the hurting people around you and hope for your own hurts that you have in your life. So please make sure you get subscribed to Extremism. Would you do that? Just go near Baltimore, Maryland. We were there this last weekend in an incredible time. And thanks to everybody who helped us to make it happen. Pastor Cuban, his wife, their wonderful staff. You, Christian, thank you.
Look, don't even. I don't take apart my appliances. No, I do not. My computer, maybe on occasion. Other things, not really.
And all the others couldn't have done it without you. Amazing thing. Right. Personal one-on-one face-to-face encounter.
He's still shilling.
So make sure you get in touch.
Live seminar night. Yep, still shilling.
To give up that lifestyle in order to find a way back to Jesus.
No, I don't really have a problem with people like sort of promoting their stuff. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, it's so obviously bullshit. Like, it's such bullshit.
I know he's waiting and willing, hoping she will return back and never look back. It's a little obscene. Yes, Taylor Swift is it. Hold your breath. Don't make any decisions until you hear what I have to say. I am the queen. Yes. I'm not sure what that's. And I don't know if I want to quote this next guy, his handle. Yeah, it's a little obscene. Yes, Taylor Swift is an evil witch. Brandon. Oh, we did that.
I think he's reading out.
My pastor has said he's been trying to I guess this is the one was talking about the one who has a daughter who's a fan, but trying to make him there's a lot of reasons for that. But I'm going to leave from Ireland. My country was recently represented by a witch at the Eurovision Song Contest.
A witch at the Eurovision.
All right, clear the screen. I got those chats. We'll get some more in just a moment. Now, look, full disclosure, I'm not a Swiftie.
Well, no, you don't have to be. That's fine. Look, do I like Taylor Swift? Yeah, I think she's all right. I think she's entertaining. I don't, I'm not a huge fan. I think she does good work. She's entertaining. She touches on a lot of issues, and it seems very personal to her what she's going through and what she sings about and what she performs about. Do I think that she's amazing? Not really. I think she's okay. It's not really for me. I don't hate her at all. I get the appeal. I get that it would resonate with young women. I admire that she has worked so hard and built up sort of a big thing, and I appreciate that she doesn't sort of, like a lot of celebrities are going sort of, well, I'm awesome and screw you, and I appreciate that she's not like that. I think she's fine. I think she's absolutely fine.
I can't stand the woman, but there's a lot of reasons for that. But I'm going to leave my personal opinions aside. Calling somebody a real witch is a serious accusation at all. Yeah,
I mean, this guy's living, I don't know what year this guy is living in. He's going to get out the thumb screws and the what do they used to have? The dunking chair that they used to dunk them in the water. This is ridiculous. Like, this guy is living back in medieval times, I swear. It's so weird.
A lot of people on the internet are saying that, and a lot of influencers that
Yeah, so this witch thing, it seems to have come, and I could be wrong about this, it seems to have gotten more mainstream the instant she spoke out against Trump and sided with the Democrats against him. It seems to be when she said, look, I totally loathe Trump and we cannot have him as a president kind of thing, that she seems to have copped a lot more of this hatred and this sort of this rhetoric than before. I think that is a lot to do with what she said about Trump, and that he does have a whole bunch of very loyal supporters that has sort of said, well, now she's a witch kind of thing. I think a lot of it is to do with political rhetoric that has saddled her with this. Nobody was saying this when she was just performing. And as far as I know, she's a Christian. She's been very open about that. But, we're talking about fundamentalists who think that if you do not act like they do, then you are no real Christian, which is kind of ridiculous.
Saying that. Is she? Well, for those of you who are unfamiliar with pop culture, Taylor Swift is one of the richest women in the world. She's barely over 30 and she's a billionaire. She is the single most popular entertainer in the world, and maybe anyone has ever seen at any time.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I think the Beatles were probably more popular sort of per capita. I'm not sure about, the most popular of all time, but yeah, she's been highly successful. I think a lot of that is a lot of hard work and a lot of talent. Sorry, that's just what it's like.
Nobody has had the benefit of social media and the internet to accomplish what she's accomplished. So what we're speculating about tonight concerning witchcraft has a lot of significance to young people, the young people watching, your children and grandchildren. The idea that this 34-year-old musical performer not so secretly practices witchcraft. Well, that goes along with a lot of other pop culture.
What do you mean not so secretly? Like, she not so secretly practices. What do you mean by that? because I've never seen a damn thing about her that would say witchcraft to me. Like, I don't. Yeah, what I just, no, Marty, I get you. I get you. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, his idea of witchcraft is seriously like, he is medieval thinking. He's thinking cauldrons and broomsticks, and it's almost like a parody.
Speculation. I don't know how much you pay attention to this sort of thing. It's been claimed that Beyonce has been accused of being part of the Illuminati. Singer Avril Lavigne is believed by some to be a doppelganger, which is kind of a clone, and that the real Lavigne died nearly 2 decades ago and has been replaced by another woman.
Oh, conspiracies about celebrities. Who would have thunk it? Where have you been living? That's Elvis Presley? Elvis Presley was a huge druggie. I mean, look, I mean, Michael Jackson, you might have something there. But I think his demonic look is more due to, horrible plastic surgeries than sort of, any kind of witchcraft influence.
His ideas are right up there with speculation that Paul McCartney is dead. That's been around for decades. And that Elvis is still alive. Oh, and have you heard Michael Jackson is really his sister LaToya, still breathing and singing?
Okay, so you're going through these conspiracy theories in order to support your conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift is a witch. Why do creationists, and especially fundamentalists, have no self-awareness whatsoever? Like, they just don't.
But this idea that Taylor Swift is a witch carries a lot more creed. Her songs and her performances are laced with witchy overtones.
I don't think that is a Taylor Swift performance, by the way. That appears to be probably a movie, I would imagine. I don't know what that is, and I don't know where he got it from.
And if anyone is to be accused of performing for the devil, what better target than the most popular and richest celebrity in the world?
Yeah, she's not the richest. There's way richer celebrities than her. I think George Lucas is like the richest celebrity kind of thing, like the richest celebrity, because he sold Star Wars to Disney. He sold Star Wars to Disney. So I think that he is the richest celebrity in the world. Oh, that's better. I like that.
And fame isn't the issue. That's not what this is about. It's about what she believes. Well, it's obvious she's not a believing Christian who's walking with Jesus Christ. Just a couple of things here. I don't mean to wax political, but in the last election, she raised money for and publicly supported Joe Biden, who's the
no, she supported Joe Biden. She must be a witch. She can't be a Christian.
Most pro-abortion president in history. She's a Christian. You can see the tweets out there and the postings where she's attacked conservative Christians on social media for opposing trans rights, which she's obviously in favor of. Her lyrics and lifestyle confirm all of that. But
yeah, she's pro LGBTQI, she's pro trans, she's pro gay. I appreciate that. That's good. That is a good thing. Like, she doesn't hate. What's so bad about that? Wow. So if you support trans, you're a witch. Well, I must be a witch then. He's a witch. Burn him. You knucklehead. What are you talking about?
We'll talk more about that later. Just for starters, at best, she is a non-religious entertainer. Yes, I know she says that she's a Christian.
Yeah, but she's a Christian in private, which again, I appreciate. Like, at this point in time, we don't have to have people who are all atheists. I don't demand that. I don't need it. but she essentially is a Christian without shoving it down people's throats. That's great. That's good.
You can say you're a duck, but can you quack? She's an entertainer with syncretistic amalgam of beliefs in keeping with the cultural motif of our times. But our concern isn't what she isn't, but what she is. Now, Swift highly personalized her lyrics. At times, she has alluded quite specifically to her love life, or the lack thereof, prior to this guy named, Kelcher. So she speaks of romance with personal anecdotes. We can take seriously what she says in her songs about the occult.
What? I think her personal anecdotes are mostly metaphors. Like, she doesn't say, hey, I dated this person and then we broke up. They're lyrical. They're metaphors. Oh, Barnaby, thank you so much. Barnaby Wild with the $2 super sticker. And it is a embarrassed pear. Things have gone pear-shaped. I gotcha. I get you, buddy. I hear you. I really do.
And if we're going to objectively answer the question of whether she can be called a witch, we're going to have to deduce that conclusion from several factors. Let me get to these main factors in just a moment. I have a question.
We've got some main factors here. I'm holding my breath.
Let me roll this up here to the top. T Living for Christ. Address some of the rappers also. That's another show. The Swifties and the trolls are going to be all over this. Of course they are. Freya, what's the difference between witchcraft and sorcery? As a practical matter, really nothing, except that sorcery is a form of witchcraft. To Living for Christ. Miguel, I don't care if she's a witch or not. Music was created to worship God. I'll only listen to Christian music except for forced elevator music. Facts.
Okay, I just want to
listen to that song. That's a good way to get yourself a demon. Freya, she's definitely not a Christian. All right, you can clear those. I got those chats out of the way. So, as I said a moment ago, you know how I deal with stuff. Not with broadsides and ambiguous claims or accusations, but facts.
Yes, this man who claimed that demons tried to assassinate Trump only deals with facts, not broad accusations, not vagaries regarding his opinion, just hard facts.
Facts. So let's deal with this on a very logical basis. 4 factors to determine if Taylor Swift is a witch. And this is where you want to maybe start taking yourself.
There you go. We've got some 4 factors. Let's go.
Notes here. 4 factors. These are the things to think about when you're deciding, is this woman a witch? Is anybody a witch? Well, in her particular case, number 1, her lyrics. Number 2, her lifestyle. Number 3, her stage performances. And number 4, how she is perceived by those who seriously follow witchcraft.
Okay, so her stage performances, what about them? Does this guy think that, like, stage magicians are witches? Like, does he think that, like, David Blaine is a witch, or, you know, Siegfried and Roy are witches? How she is perceived by those who seriously follow witchcraft? No, well, I mean, witchcraft, like, witches are rooted in gender equality and, you know, partially feminism. Just because of where it came from and the people that follow it. And that's fine. That's totally fine. She can be an icon for people who believe in feminism and the empowerment of women, because she is very successful. It's like Oprah Winfrey is sort of empowerment for women. A lot of women are icons for people who believe in the empowerment for women. Doesn't mean that they're anything that the people who follow them are. If that's the case, then Donald Trump is definitely a Ku Klux Klan member, because the KKK, they really like Trump. They really like Trump.
I want to run those by you again. This is what we're going to look at tonight. Her lyrics, her lifestyle, her stage performances, and how she is perceived by those who seriously follow witchcraft. Now, to emphasize her opposition to Christian faith and her embrace.
And I think that sums it up. Big thing, Flying Wayne. I think that sums it up. Absolutely. And the church has been doing this forever. They've been sort of going, well, if you're a woman without a man, not married to a man, and you have any power, you're a witch. It's awful.
Of witchcraft. I'm going to quote from several sources, and I printed out some documents here that I'm going to read from. First of all, Religion News Service. Secondly, the Mary Sue website. Third, Newsweek magazine.
I'm sorry, the Mary Sue website is like, can we just, what? The Mary Sue website. What? And Newsweek is a tabloid. Religion News Service? A social, what?
Next, one of Taylor Swift's own posts. And then, we can't pick all the songs. Let's just pick on that song, Karma. And we're going to talk about that. So there was a fascinating article, Religion News Service. If you want to look at it in more detail, I suggest you check it out. They've done an excellent job of dealing with this. And I'm going to quote just bits and pieces of what they say to understand the basic concern here. It's about her, the tortured poets department, like she's a great poet or something. She didn't have a college education. She never studied English lit or anything like that. All she's done is sit around Nashville, play her guitar with a bunch of people in a bar and start writing songs, okay? This is not Yeats, okay? But this article says, the Tortured Poets Department speaks of Good Samaritans and Jehovah's Witnesses, altar sacrifices, and prophecies. They quote her, I live in Tennessee, so I'm a Christian. Okay, that makes you a Christian?
No, that was a, I think it was a Miss America. Yeah, no, it was a 2020 Netflix documentary, Miss Americana. She was unambiguous. I live in Tennessee. I'm a Christian. Like, she didn't actually say, so I'm a Christian. She said, I'm a Christian. She never said, like, so I'm a Christian because she lives in Tennessee. No, that's wrong.
She says, that's not what we stand for. Now, what is she talking about? She's talking about the response of the Republican congressional representative, Marsha Blackburn, and her opposition to LGBTQ rights. She says, well, we're Christians, and that's not Christian. Really? Okay. The article goes on to say,
yeah,
she uses Christian metaphors alongside more bohemian mishmash of witchcraft, divination, and paganism. Now, the Religion News Service is not a particularly conservative evangelical site.
It's not particularly reputable either. That's the thing. This isn't like a news site that actually breaks things. This is a Christian news site that, wow.
But this is a great article. Another quote from this article. Swift knows her audience, and she knows they're dabbling in everything from spells to astrology. Of course, it's a marketing move.
Well, no, okay. So you've got to understand this. When you are writing songs or writing anything really, you're trying to tap into a zeitgeist. What's a zeitgeist? So zeitgeist is, it translates in German to the spirit of the times. Okay, so it basically means the overall feeling of culture, the overall the pulse of society, right? So all of the things society are talking about, all of the things we're enjoying, all of the things we're not enjoying, all of this different stuff in the mishmash is a zeitgeist. Basically, it's the spirit of the times, the pulse of society, the feelings out there. When you are creating stuff to sort of talk about your feelings about all of this, you're really crafting with that society's language in mind. So a lot of the metaphors, a lot of the symbolism, a lot of they're called semiotics, signs and symbols, basically. A lot of the cues, a lot of the things that you're like putting out there are reflections of what society thinks, or what's in society, or how society thinks as large. Like a lot of the things that people call for, it reminds me of when Billie Eilish did a song about environmentalism, and it was very heavy in sort of angelic and demonic metaphor. But it wasn't for literally the angelic and demonic. It was talking about environment versus heavy industrialization. And a lot of artists will say, hey, you get out of it what you will. You'll perceive in my art what you will. But a lot of it is metaphor that talks with the times, like in language of the times, in metaphors of the times, in these sort of signals of the times. That doesn't mean they believe in the literal thing. Because witchcraft and demons and things, it might be like seen as dark, or they might be saying, hey, this is rebellious. It doesn't mean they believe in those demons. It means they're just using a metaphor for something rebellious or evil or dark or something hanging over them. There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. You can't just look at it and go, oh, because they had something demonic, they worship demons. No. To a lot of people, demons are a signal for something that's dark or oppressive or something that's troubling them. It's not a real thing. But this guy thinks they're real. And that if you put that in your video, then you're obviously worshipping them. And it is crazy.
And then this writer mentions the song Cassandra. Swift continues to call out judgmental Christians. She condemns in this song, the Christian chorus line, who never spared a prayer for my soul. Sounds like maybe a little bit of bitterness there, huh? Going on with this article. With the 9th track on the album, Guilty as Sin, Swift blurs traditional boundaries between sin and sainthood as she daydreams about her lover. Then he quotes the lyrics. What if I roll the stone away? They're going to crucify me anyway. That's just blasphemy.
Oh, that's just blasphemy. Yeah, no, it couldn't be a metaphor for something. Couldn't have nothing to do with Jesus, and more a metaphor for, her life and how she feels crucified by certain people that call her a witch. And oh wait.
And then she goes to sing, what if the way you hold me is exactly what's holy? That's pretty sexual. Okay, she's not talking about her husband either. He goes on to quote.
Okay. So I love where he goes, oh, well, that's not really, holy kind of thing. And that's very sexual.
The word for witchcraft, folklore, the mystical.
I'm just going to skip here because he starts talking about her lifestyle. And I want to point
she is promoting the idea of karma. Now, karma, I have to talk around it. In fact, I could get this banned on YouTube and all the other places where we post this if I quote the lyrics directly. One of her biggest songs, when she begins her concerts, that's the first thing you hear out of her mouth. 4-letter words. And then she repeats over and over in the song, karma is my boyfriend, karma is my God, or is a God. Karma is my boyfriend, karma is a God. And then there's the great line. Oh, this is a great poetic line. Karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me, flexing like a GD acrobat.
Yeah, so he's upset that she blasphemes. She like commits blasphemy in his eyes, when really she's just using ordinary language that, crazy people don't have a problem with. Crazy people have a problem with, but most ordinary people are totally fine with. And just her lyrics mention karma. I think he doesn't like. I mean, just because she has karma, like she talks about karma, doesn't mean that she's like a different religion than Christian. Karma is just
her fans dancing and evoking spells. Now, certainly one can be a self-proclaimed witch if they adhere to certain beliefs. But witchcraft can also be constituted by demonstrating the character of a witch by how you act and what you do. And in the case of Taylor Swift, what she portrays in performances.
Right.
And in all these respects, Taylor Swift is guilty. I have some more to say about this, my basic conclusions about Taylor Swift. So let's see what else we got here on the chat line.
I don't need to hear
Young woman out there. And makes nothing about it, and is proud of it, who damns the name of God, is not something that a Christian should have anything to do with, period. You say, well, yeah, but she does this, and this. No, just that. It's enough.
Has sound gone? That's all right. I'm getting sick of this guy anyway, to be honest with you. He's possessed by a demon. Yeah, I don't know why it does this, but he goes on and on like this. And look, here's the thing. He goes on about how like she wears very little and stuff like that, right? So she doesn't wear a lot. She's exhibiting her body, and he goes on about this a little bit. Here's the thing, but he gives Trump a pass. Does he know that Melania Trump did a nude photo shoot? Do you know that? Do you know that? I did have a picture here. So back in the day, Melania Trump did a nude photo shoot, and I don't have a problem with it, but that's Melania Trump. That's the former first lady. Yeah. So my question is, and don't get me wrong, I've got no problem with Melania doing a nude photo shoot. No problem at all. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Very, very attractive, gorgeous woman. If she wants to show off her body, more power to her. Why does he have a problem with Taylor Swift performing in small outfits and has no problem with Melania Trump? No problem whatsoever. Right? Why is that? Is it to do with his political ideology? Is it to do with that Trump's sort of on his side? I also want to show another picture that Melania was in. And again, I want to really reiterate, I've got no problem with Melania Trump doing a nude photo shoot. No problem at all. No problem at all in any way, shape, or form. More power to her. But check this out. Yeah. That's a girl-on-girl nude homosexual photo shoot. Cool. I've got no problem with it. It's just, why do these people who say Taylor Swift supports LGBTQI and dresses in a certain way, right? Why is it that they've got a big problem with her and no problem with Melania? Why is that? And I've got no problem with anybody wearing anything. I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that the former first lady was out there being a model, which she was. I don't. But why demonize one person for being an entertainer, and the other person gets a pass for being a model? I don't understand. I don't understand. Except for political reasons, just political reasons. Now, I did want to do more of this, but I do have somebody else on the line, and I am aware that I am constrained by time, but somebody is telling us how to spot demons and things, and it's actually it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. So I'm going to get it lined up. So actually, I probably better leave briefly and shut everything down. So I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. There we go. Yeah, political and monetary reasons. Yeah. So if he generates satanic panic with these people, the people will give him money. They're panicking about sort of demonic influences and stuff. But I guess I'm just showing that to show that he's not worried about sort of what she's doing and how she's dressing and how much skin she's exposing. He's not worried about that. He knows that there's dislike out there of her because of what she said, and he's making money off it. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right, Joz. I really do. I think, you know, that's what he's after. So yeah, this lady, I just wanted to share this quickly. This lady is a bit of a weird one, and I sort of came across her while looking for more people that thought like Larson, and she kind of runs a channel. This is concrete facts we know about the demonic. Concrete, by the way, concrete.
Please make sure there are countless millions upon millions of theories out there that people have as to what this is, what we saw, what we witnessed. And depending on what groups of people have come together about this, you know, people that are shamans and people that are Buddhists and people that are Christians. And however, whichever way, we do know at this point in 2024 that there is a phenomenon occurring here. And one thing we know to be certain and true is that there is still a mystery that unsettles us to our core as to what is actually happening and what it is actually that we witnessed and experienced.
So she's a bit of a weird one. Like she thinks that narcissists are controlled by demons. She kind of says that mental illness is caused by demons. So it kind of was on a sort of parallel with Bob Larson, who's sort of saying, you know, oh, you can have mental illness, but also demons, kind of thing.
To this day, there's always going to be more questions than answers. Okay. But dating back to the beginning of time, there is one thing we can all collectively understand here, and that is that these experiences have been recorded as far back as we can possibly tell.
Yeah. I'd say that epilepsy and mental health issues probably go back as far as we can tell as well. Yeah. And a lot of people labeled epilepsy as demonic possession. Guess what we know now? It's not demonic possession. There's nothing demonic about an epileptic fit. Nothing. Absolutely zero.
If you do your digging and you go back in history, the recordings they've been going on all throughout different centuries of paranormal, supernatural experiences that are violent and malevolent. Okay? We know that. And there's been other types of experiences too that involve paranormal and supernatural experiences that are not violent and malevolent.
Yeah, so we know that people attributed all kinds of things to paranormal experience. What we don't know is whether that experience was actually real or not. We don't know. We don't think so, because as we come to investigate, more and more things are ruled out. Like, we know that a lot of the times that people thought that it was possession was in fact epilepsy or some other form of mental illness. We know that. So this whole idea that we know that these things were paranormal is absolutely false. We know nothing of the sort. I'm really sorry, but we don't.
And whether you want to call them many, many things, we still do not know. Okay? Now, for the record, I just want to say that some of you know-it-alls, I know already that you're going to be showing up to this video with your quote-unquote answers, and you believe you have all the answers over everybody else. But I am here to tell you that even the most credible demonologists that we have seen in our lifetime.
Who are the most credible demonologists we've seen in our lifetime? Because it's not Bob Larson. Do not say Bob Larson.
Still have what we call the mysteries of faith. It's what it is. I just happen to come across a Catholic priest. Okay. Now, for those of you that have been following my channel, as you know, I don't follow any religion. I am a believer. I follow the Bible and I follow my faith, but I'm not behind any religion. And that doesn't mean that I have a problem with any denomination. As a matter of fact, we can learn a lot from other people. And you guys know my theories on that. I'm not getting into that. But for all purposes of the point I'm making is the other day, I happen to come across, and I do watch a lot of Catholic exorcists because they've got information that we all can learn. And this particular Catholic priest, well, he's a bishop. His name is Bishop James Long, and he has a presence on TikTok. I'm not sure if he's on other platforms, but I see him on TikTok. And he goes on to describe that the Catholic Church for many, many years was all about hushing. Shh, we don't talk about the demonic. We don't talk about exorcism. That's all behind the curtains. And
Yeah, so the Catholic Church still will approve exorcisms. So it's got to be approved high up by an archbishop, I believe. They don't really get into it anymore. The reason why is because the amount of times that they did exorcisms and, well, killed somebody or found out they had mental illness or found out it wasn't a demon at all was too many. And after a couple of deaths like that, they sort of put exorcisms to bed. It's more with the Catholic Church trying to survive than, some conspiracy to cover up the exorcism.
keep it there and we record all these things. And he believes that it's time to talk about these things. What good is he doing as an appointed stuff? Okay. You're discrediting millions upon millions of people here. Okay. So having said that, it's very interesting to listen to this man who believes believes in the traditions of the Catholic Church and the rituals in which they've created as a religion, if you will.
They killed people. The exorcism of Emily Rose, that was based upon a real person. It was a Michelle, I can't remember her name. Annalise Michel, right? Annalise Michel was a woman that was killed by the Catholic Church, because part of those amazing rituals she is talking about, part of it is actually ritualistic starvation and deprivation of food and water, which kills people.
About how he believes. Now, this was interesting to me. We just knew it. We just knew it. Just as much as when we encountered something very good that was otherworldly, and it was a sign, it was an angel, it was a timing, it was something very specific. And each one of us that have had experiences like this on our own, most of the times we experienced it all on our own. It's this type of influence that has come over you that you really can't make much sense of. And that's why a lot of times lab results will show nothing. Diagnosis can't be pinpointed of what's going on with your health. And a lot of the times, these demonic forces, they work in this alignment with getting a hold of your psychiatric care. And remember, as I talked about in my previous videos, that this outer intelligence works in conjunction with other people they're going to send in your life to try and bring you down in their entire effort to kill, steal, and destroy. That's the whole point. They want you dead. So in trying to make you believe that this is all your problem, this is all in your head, don't forget, guys, psychology has an immense amount of holes in their studies. Okay? They do. Do your research on that too. Okay? Psychology is failing a lot of people, you guys. We are at an all-time, we are seeing the highest levels of mental health crisis in the history of human beings.
Okay. So the reason why we have the highest incidence of mental health is because we've only just really started recording it. In the past, when somebody had a mental health issue, it was, well, Uncle Fred has an issue. Like, for instance, he's a bit of a lush. He loves his drink. And Uncle Fred drinks a lot and passes out. Oh, that's just eccentric Uncle Fred kind of thing. That's just, that's just what he does. We would not equate that with what we understand about substance abuse and alcoholism now. The links to depression, the links to anxiety, there's all these things that we know now that we didn't know back then. It doesn't mean that the mental illness did not occur back then. It was categorized as something different. And yes, sometimes it was categorized as a demon and not mental illness. The only reason we have such incidents of mental health now is because we're recording them, because we're actually paying attention, because we're actually diagnosing them. It's not just, we don't just say, oh, well, she's just, having a frantic woman with conniptions kind of thing. No, there's actually a woman there with post-traumatic stress disorder. The fact that we're analyzing what it actually is the reason why. Yeah, that's probably true. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I mean, I did say substance abuse. I think it's the same as any substance abuse, really. I mean, like in a contemporary way, it's just addiction is what it is, and so alcohol dependence, alcohol abuse, sure. All I'm getting across is that that kind of substance abuse has been around forever, but nobody knew it was substance abuse because we didn't understand what substance abuse was. That would be categorized as a mental illness, but it didn't used to be. That's the whole point. Yeah, hey AJ and Grayson. Yes, I am going to stream with the boys. I was going to wait for your stream to be up and redirect there. So I had a hard limit on this one of 2 hours because I will be going over to Atheist Juniors and we are going to be breaking down a Hovind debate. As I did mention at the start of the video, if you are watching this later, yeah, head over to AJ's. Have you got the video ready to rock or the stream up or scheduled? Scheduled is what I'm trying to say and failing miserably at. So if you have it scheduled, I can redirect to it. But this woman, I kind of feel for her because I don't think she is like Bob Larson. Absolutely, is just trying to get money. Well, that's what he's trying to get. He's trying to get money, and that's all that he's interested in. This woman, I think she really believes in this stuff and is misled. And somebody in the chat said, I think it was Marty said, yeah, here it is. They're super dangerous. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. They're sort of saying, hey, don't see a psychologist, get to God and drive the demon from you. And it is, especially because she says that narcissism is demons kind of thing, which is a problem. It's a huge problem because narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, it's not like, it's so hard to get narcissists to actually you're making it right now. Okay, beautiful. Well, let me know when it's up and I'll redirect there. That's what I want to do. So narcissistic personality disorder, what is it? And is it a demon? Absolutely frigging not. Absolutely not. No way. There are sort of multiple types, and there are. I'm just going to find something from the DSM-5. Okay, this is good. Okay, so narcissistic personality disorder, it's basically feeling self-important, not showing empathy, wanting attention, wanting to be admired, being selfish, aggressive, and insensitive. Basically, and don't get me, just another disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. I'm really reading from this and sort of I'm familiar with what it is. It's basically this overwhelming sense of entitlement. You want people to think you're wonderful, think you're amazing. You want people to look up to you. You want people to provide you with this attention and love kind of thing. And it is due to an insecurity within themselves. They can't reconcile the idea of a low self-worth. So instead, they really do. There's a concept known as inversion. It used to be called overcompensation, but the word is inversion now in psychology, which means that you, due to a lack of something in yourself, you project the opposite. You kind of overcompensate. You will show the inverted trait of what you actually have, and that is a hallmark of a lot of narcissists. They will show insane levels of confidence, and they'll never sort of listen to anybody else, and they will slap down people all the time because they feel bad. What causes it? Excessive praise or judgment by parents, trauma, or abuse. It's a very horrible disorder, and it affects a lot of people around them. because the narcissist will be manipulative in order to get people to respect them or really do what they want. They will never admit fault. And that's a problem diagnostically, from what I have heard, because if you can't get somebody to be honest and open about what their problems are, it's very difficult to treat them. So a narcissist will never admit they're a narcissist, which provides a problem, because the first thing you have to do in order to solve a problem is admit the problem exists. Now, reading through here and sort of going, oh, being aggressive, being selfish. Well, I've been selfish. I've been, aggressive in the past. Am I a narcissist? And a lot of people have asked this, am I a narcissist kind of thing? I think if you even consider that question, you probably aren't. Like, you're probably not. If you've gone, well, I can be selfish. I sometimes need attention. I have taken advantage of somebody in the past. Am I a narcissist? You probably are not, because you're even considering that question. And I think that a lot of the time we think on spectrums now rather than black or white. People can show narcissistic tendencies without being narcissists. To be diagnostically a narcissist is kind of a high bar. But I wanted to show this because it sounds like to me that this lady has sort of she has encountered a narcissist. They've been insanely destructive, like just incredibly destructive. And she has blamed demons for that. Like, her whole channel is the demons of narcissism. And she's not talking like, demons as in hypothetical demons or sort of colloquial or metaphorical demons. She's talking sort of, real demons that are narcissism. And we kind of understand it a great deal. And I mean, I've got a few thoughts on narcissism, what you do to them, or how you handle them, basically. I find that there is a technique called the grey stone, which works really well. You don't feed into them. There's a few things that we can do to sort of alleviate some of that behavior, but none of it is demons. If it was demons, then the techniques we have for dealing with them wouldn't work. And it's not calling to God or something, it's not. But I think I probably have to wind up. So I'm not sure that AJ has redirect on. I'm desperately trying to redirect to him, and I do not see it. So I would say that he doesn't have redirect on, which is a problem. My apologies. I am desperately trying to get... No, definitely not. Okay, give me 1 sec and I will... Yeah, okay. AJ's linked it in there. Thanks, AJ. Cheers, mate. So I will be over there. I'm going over there right now. We're going to break down a Hovind debate and, hilarity will ensue. But do be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. If you are feeling kind, do give a like and subscribe. Share with your friends. I think that this demon thing is getting way out of control in fundamentalist Christianity, like way out of control. But be kind. These people, I don't think all of them are shills like Bob Larson. I think some people are just, they've been indoctrinated, and their experiences, like say with a destructive narcissist, fits into their ideas that they've been indoctrinated with. But if you are sort of this in that space of a grandiose self-ego, and people have said to you, hey, you just care about yourself, or have suggested you're narcissistic, there's ways we can cope with this. Psychology, it's not like anybody's a lost cause. We understand a lot of this stuff. But I really want to thank you for joining me. It's been a blast. Bob Larson is always a hoot. He is not attached to this reality in the slightest. He's always a hoot. But I kind of feel sorry for this Tracy lady. I might do some stuff on her again to see if she's got any good points in there somewhere, or see if she's got good advice. Look, sometimes these people who are religious, they stumble across good advice somewhere in their thing. Like they might say, hey, remove yourself from this demon infested. Look, removing yourself from a narcissist sort of area of influence is usually the best way to go. It's usually the best way to go. Like, so they can stumble upon good advice. But I'm going to be over at Atheist Juniors. Please do come across and we will have a laugh over there. And yeah, but for the moment, thank you so much, everybody. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.